My name's Mike Ehrenberg. I've been at Microsoft for just about 13 years. I am the CTO with responsibility for business applications and application platform work that we've been doing. And virtually all the time that I've been at Microsoft has been in and around the Dynamics business.
Can you share with us a few highlights of your career during your time at Microsoft?
Sure. To be completely honest, I think the work that we're doing right now is the stuff that I'm proudest of. And I think a lot of that is about bringing Dynamics AX to the Azure cloud and all the new things that's opening up, as well as some incredibly exciting things which we announced in the context of what we call Dynamics 365. About building a common data model and a platform to support that, to really open up the next sort of generation of ISV innovation around our work.
Satya Nadella has been advocating cloud first, mobile first for the past couple of years. Please tell us how that guides technology direction.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I really think that we come at it in two ways. The first is very technical. As we started on the work that's now Dynamics 365 for operations, we wanted to bring that to the cloud, and we really had a choice to make. We could take basically an architecture that was designed for on-premises and run it in our data centers, or we could really bet on the cloud and design something from the beginning that was optimized for what would take the maximum advantage of Azure. And obviously that's a journey, but we made some choices that really we followed that second path, and we see the dividends already in that the things that we're able to do to drive more scale, better performance, more elasticity, all because we took that cloud first bet. Same thing in terms of the devices and really making sure that our software could be accessed from all the devices that people wanted, including their mobile devices. And so we've really invested heavily in having a great experience for mobile users and really letting them do their work wherever they are. And so that's kind of the technical side. But the second piece is what we're really starting to invest in now, and just thinking, how can we reimagine what a process is like in a world where everybody is cloud connected and has a mobile device in their hands? And instead of just sort of taking the way that people have always done work when they used to do it on paper and moving it to a screen, saying, what can I do differently when I know that the customer I'm trying to engage with has a device in their hand? And so it's really starting to change the way we think about the processes. And I think, that's the intent of cloud first, mobile first. And it's having a pronounced impact on the work that we do.
In your career at Microsoft, what technology innovation are you most proud of, and how has that innovation affected the ERP marketplace?
There's a few things that we're working on now that I am incredibly proud of, and they really revolve around changing what the applications mean in a business. I think historically business applications have been just that. They've been about history. People do their work, and when they're done with their work, they do another piece of work, which is to do a transaction and tell the computer what they did, so that we have history and we have audit trail and we have security. And that really doesn't take maximum advantage of what's possible. And we're starting to do things now that I'm incredibly excited about, that take all the data that we have, and instead of just using that for historical reporting, we're using that to build insights, to make recommendations to users about what's the best next thing for them to do, what's the best way for them to solve a supply constraint problem, what's the best way for them to optimize how they ship a set of customer orders so that their customers get the best result and that they get the best result. And in today's world where things are very complicated, lots of variables, and where time is so important, we're able to solve problems using optimization, using machine learning, that really it was getting to the point that they were too complicated for individuals to always get the right answer. And I think, that ability to change what our software means for a business, that's the stuff that kind of I'm most proud of and gets me excited.
Microsoft has invested heavily in technology centers around the world. Please share with us how you think the investment affects and helps the sales and marketing processes.
I think increasingly people want to see and touch the things that we've done. Not see a slideshow about it, but they actually want to come down and they want to experience it for themselves. And particularly as we start to do things that go beyond just using a keyboard and a screen, but more interesting interaction between people and the software. It's really hard to convey the same way you can if you can actually bring somebody into a technology center, show them our solution together with work that our partners have done, and really let them experience it. And I think it's something we've always known, is that when we have the opportunity to actually put our product directly in front of the customer, we do better. We do a better job of conveying to them what we've done, what the value is, and we do a better job of winning those deals and making those prospects into Microsoft customers. And the tech centers really expand our ability to have a place where that can occur.
Mike, Microsoft talks about a new business approach to business processes through intelligent apps with Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Microsoft AppSource. Can you share your views on the meaning that this holds for customers? Sure.
So I think there's a few things that we're doing with the work around Dynamics 365 and around AppSource. And the first of those things is just making it easier for customers to discover and to buy the software that they need, whether it's from us or from our partners or from a combination. And part of that is just simply the discovery. If I'm somebody that's in this industry and maybe I have this Microsoft product, what are the things that I might also benefit from? That's what AppSource is all about, and letting me see it, letting me get a trial, letting perhaps the creator of that product understand my interests so that I can find out more. So discovery is the first part. The second thing is making sure that what we have as an offer lines up with the kinds of things that customers want to buy. And customers before were sort of faced with a hard choice. There were big suites, and to be honest, that was our history. We had an ERP suite and a CRM suite. And the great news about that was that all the parts worked together. The tough thing for a customer was if they were trying to address an opportunity or a challenge in one part of their business, they got the whole suite, whether that was what they wanted or not. And then on the other side, the other choice that they had was to find point solutions, maybe just a single solution that did one thing. But then the challenge was, yeah, but that process sits next to this process and next to this process. And in that world, the customer sort of inherited all the problems of trying to tie those pieces together. So what we're doing with Dynamics 365 is saying, buy what you need when you need it. But as you add more pieces, they go together with the same fidelity as a suite. And so we like to talk about it as 1 + 1 = 3. I think that's a very different way to let customers do what they want to do, buy what they want to buy when they need it. And then the solution can grow with them as their needs grow. And I think that's really the big message with Dynamics 365. And there was one other dimension in what we announced, and that was together with the pieces that used to be processes within Dynamics, we're adding a whole platform to let ISVs and customers extend those solutions, particularly when they go across multiple things that we deliver, or perhaps even other systems that the customer has. And that's the combination of Power Apps and Flow and a common data model and platform to support that. And so this is a place where we've really taken the best of all of our experience around extensibility and empowering partner and customer development and kind of raising that to a new level. And again, Power Apps is all about great experiences for the mobile world. So once again, the sort of cloud-first, mobile-first message comes in as well. So easier way to buy things, easier way to discover things, solutions that grow with a business over time, as well as a great extensibility platform to let people put things together that go above and beyond what we've done.
Mike, what are some of the exciting research projects that are being undertaken at present, and how might these be incorporated into future Dynamics releases?
I talked earlier about a lot of the work that we're doing around optimization and machine learning, and that's certainly a super exciting area for us. I think one of the other things that you'll hear Satya Nadella talk about is what we sometimes call as conversation as a platform. And so this is the idea of intelligent bots that can actually communicate in a very natural way with people and answer questions that otherwise involved having to go to another human, have them do a transaction, have them give you the answer. And so there's a lot of work that we're doing about how do I bring those things into service and support situations, which is a classic process area for Dynamics. And so I think that just the whole way of making the computer more natural to interact with. You know, the same way that whether it's Cortana or Siri or whichever device you choose, that there's a whole bunch of questions that can now very conveniently be answered just by talking to your phone or with Windows 10 talking to your desktop. How do I go bring that same capability across a set of business applications and be able to answer questions in an intelligent way? That whole idea of being able to have more natural interaction between what people do and the computer. Obviously, speech is the natural one, but the other places that we look at that is sort of around recognizing human gestures and how do I, perhaps in an environment where speech is not appropriate, allow a user to communicate with the software through gestures. So think about on a factory floor, maybe just simply holding up a hand and giving a hand signal rather than trying to speak over the noise of the factory. And obviously at the sort of extreme end of that is a project that's a very exciting bit of research on its transition to product at Microsoft, or HoloLens, and the idea of sort of mixed or augmented reality, the ability to wear a set of glasses and have the computer be able to show you information in a way that it becomes part of what you're seeing. One of the demonstrations that I was able to participate in around HoloLens was kind of the typical scenario of someone who's trying to repair something, needs to talk to an expert back at headquarters. In my case, I was supposedly trying to rewire a light socket, which I do actually know how to do because I am an engineer, but I played along. And someone else on the other end of a Skype call, just sitting at their computer, was able to see what I was seeing, and with their pen, draw, and it showed up in my field of view and said, that's the wire that you need to take. And it's an example that as soon as you see it, you see a ton of places where that can fit in a business environment. At one of our recent events, we actually had the astronaut who'd returned from a year in space, and he'd been using HoloLens in space. And as he pointed out, he's the astronaut, but he's also the air conditioning repair and the electrician, et cetera. And while he thought maybe this was going to be some kind of a toy or a research project, it was invaluable in their ability to let the people on the ground see what he was seeing and insert information directly into his field of view to help him do things that he needed to do. So that's a very exciting place where Microsoft is doing groundbreaking research, and it's very, very clear that that will have a huge transformative effect on business users in the future.
Mike, Dynamic Software has been part of the TAP programs since the beginning. Could you share with us how ISVs, in particular Dynamic Software, has helped improve the new Microsoft Dynamics AX?
You know, I think for us, it was really in two ways. And the first one's pretty obvious. When we launched the new Dynamics AX, we had over 50 solutions ready to go in our marketplace, including Dynamics Software. And that was only possible because the ISVs that built those solutions had been part of the TAP since the beginning and had the time to bring their solutions up and launch with us. And that was incredibly important because the new Dynamics AX is a great product that virtually every customer consumes with some set of ISV offerings. So being able to have them there in the marketplace, ready to go, was a big part of actually just sort of the new Dynamics AX being ready. And that only happened because of the TAP program and because of our ISVs that committed to be part of that. The second part may not be as obvious on the outside, but was hugely obvious to us. Is that the TAP program was something that lasted over a year, and we did actually 8 previews with our TAP participants before we released, and at each one, they gave us their feedback on what we were doing that was good, where they saw the next set of places to get better, what they needed from us, and I think hopefully for Dynamics Software, but for most of the ISVs that I spoke to, they saw the progress from Preview 1 to Preview 2, that feedback that they were giving was finding its way in, and the same to 3 to 4. And so we produced a better product because of the feedback we got through the TAP program.
Do you have any advice for us as an ISV, as a Microsoft partner, on our solutions going forward?
We have a great situation that, in the last year, or 18 months, where there's been great clarity from Satya on what Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more, and how that translates into 3 big bets about reinventing business process and productivity, about more personal computing, and about building the intelligent cloud. And that translates to all the things that we've been talking about in this interview. How do we make interaction with our software more natural? How do we help the systems we build be more intelligent? And how do we always think about cloud first, mobile first, both from a technical way that we do things and the way that people might work, where data and computing power and connectivity can be available all the time. And just thinking always about those same principles and how Dynamics Software can use its skills and its experience with with specific domains to make sure that we're delivering together more intelligent solutions in a cloud-first, mobile-first way. And I think I think continuing the dialogue with us as we had through TAP, I think that's the best way to make sure that together we'll be building the best solutions for our customers.
Thank you so much, Mike, for your time and answering all these questions.
Thank you.